is Daily Blast Live. We're talking about what you're talking about. Real, honest, entertaining, live. DBL starts right now.
3, 2.
Thank you, Patty. Welcome, everybody, to DBL. It is Tuesday, June 1st. 1st of June, Rabbit Rabbit. It's good luck to say that on the 1st of every month.
Rabbit Rabbit?
Rabbit Rabbit.
I didn't know that. Where does that come from?
I have no idea, but I read that it's lucky. So I'm going to say it. Because I believe in luck. I'm here with Jeff and Erica. The three of us auditioned together. We're back for this. We made it on the show. Can you believe it? How is
I can't believe we're all here after that Rabbit Rabbit intro.
You know. Are you staying with us, everyone? All right. How was everyone's Memorial Day weekend? Were there plans? What happened? Everybody go. Erica, start.
Okay. Well, there weren't official plans, but you know, we spend the weekends with the kiddos for Casa, and so they wanted to go to the movie theater, which was really crazy because we had just had that conversation about going to the movie theater. I'm like, oh no, it's going to be a minute. It's probably been 10 years since I've gone to see a movie.
And explain what Casa is really quick for people.
It's court-appointed special advocates. So these are children who need just a little bit more support because they're in the system. So we spend our weekends with them, and they wanted to see Raya and the Last Dragon, and it was so awesome. We went to this movie theater, and we were the only ones in the theater, and I was like, man, the come up on movie theaters, there were reclining chairs, there were the little cup holders, and thank God we were the only ones because the 7-year-old had a question every 5 seconds.
That's hard.
And he didn't understand volume, so we just acted like we were in our living room, basically.
That's amazing.
That's awesome to get back into a theater. I haven't been in over a year and a half.
I know. I'm still nervous, but hearing that is a good entryway.
Absolutely.
And they deliver your concessions to you.
When was the last time you went to a theater?
Yeah, they do that a lot,
10,
Erica.
11 years ago.
They do that a lot.
Because those are the new theaters.
Yeah, I feel like that's not new.
Erica's like, they have a cup holder? Welcome back. I'm glad you have fun. I didn't make it to the theaters, but we did have our community, like in our neighborhood where we live. We had on Thursday, we had a band playing. And then on Friday, they opened up a pool and had another band and like balloon animals, and they painted the kids' faces.
You have a great neighborhood.
Great neighborhood. So lucky we moved in there. But it was kind of a kids' weekend for me, you know, and we did the regular barbecue. We had a friend in town staying with us on Friday, which is nice to have people come over and see the house. And then it rained all weekend on Saturday and Sunday, so we kind of just chilled, and I worked on some fake projects in the garage, you know, trying to be suburban dad.
I love it. Mr. Dad.
How about you? What did you do?
I unfortunately had to chill very hard because Barnaby, our dear dog, had surgery, and he kept taking his sutures out, so we had to put this on him.
Is that an airplane?
It's like a little blow-up thing. That's him getting a puppuccino. He's very, very, very sad, and it's to protect him from taking out the sutures again.
A puppuccino.
Yeah, you can get them at Starbucks for free. They're just whipped cream. They're just whipped cream.
Well, he's feeling better.
Yes, he's feeling better. And to anyone out with puppers, they know how scary that can be. All right, let's move on. Did you all hear about Naomi Osaka? The tennis star has withdrawn from the French Open, and she is stepping back from tennis. Now, this comes just days after her announcement that she would not do press because of her mental health struggles. She also revealed a lot more about it, saying on Twitter that she's had bouts of depression, social anxiety, and a fear of public speaking. Now, Naomi's decision has a lot of tennis stars speaking out, some defending her, while others are talking about how doing press is kind of part of the job. So Billie Jean King said, quote, "While it's important that everyone has the right to speak their truth, I've always believed that as professional athletes, we have a responsibility to make ourselves available to the media." Check out Serena Williams and Patrick McEnroe's take on it. Take a look.
The only thing I feel is that I feel for Naomi. I feel like I wish I could give her a hug because I know what it's like.
She is a professional tennis player. She's an athlete, so you have to abide by certain rules, one of which is speaking to the press on a regular basis.
She said, though, she was somewhat protesting that rule by doing this preemptively because some rules were, quote, outdated, she said. Erica, what's your take on this?
I think when someone cries out for help, it's important that we listen. I respect that tennis players who have paved the way are weighing in on this. However, I would challenge the notion that we're living in a very different society than even when Billie Jean King was at her top, or McEnroe, because they had almost a privilege in a sense that they didn't have social media. They didn't have like a 24/7 everyday news cycle happening. So I feel like now you become a celebrity and you're preyed upon in a way that they never were.
That's totally fair. Jeff?
Yeah, I totally hear what Erica's saying. When it comes to mental health, it's a new conversation, right? We've never had these in the past. But you did sign a contract, and you are a commodity to be these people who are investing their money. Whether you're making a movie, you have to go out and do press. This is in every sport. People have been fined in basketball, baseball, football for not showing up after the game. Now, if you don't want to show up and just continue to take that penalty, which a lot of people did, I believe it was Chad Ochocinco. He didn't show up for a while. Don't quote me on that. But he kept getting fined.
He just takes the L.
He wouldn't talk to the press, but he kept getting fined, right? But you are selling a product. So if it's the U.S. Open that you're selling or a game, you need to promote your product. And that's what they're doing with these athletes. So until they change that rule, you're either going to take that penalty or you got to go talk to the press.
It's so funny you said commodity, because my first instinct was she's so not a commodity, and they're acting like she needs to be used for them to make money and to have press, and too bad. She's leaving. And that's a protest against an idea that she's a thing and not a human who doesn't like public speaking. She's not an actor. She's not in an entertainment role. She's an athlete, and she likes to be an introvert. So I thought, what a cool protest, and then they doubled down, so she left.
Well, and that's her choice.
Right.
That's her choice. And by commodity, it means like a commercial, an advertisement for them, right? From Michael Jordan all the way down. You're a commodity to the people who are investing, the owners, into that product.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting that she's bringing it up and she's an introvert. It's hard to be the head of a protest and be so very quiet. That's not easy to do.
Well, but look at the way that she protested.
Yeah, with the hats.
You know, it was the hats. It was the face mask. She spoke out, but she wasn't as vocal as some of the other people. It was in written form. Like, some people just communicate differently.
Yeah.
And she's in a position where she can make that decision for herself. And like, isn't she worth like $58 million or something last year?
Seems like a lot.
If she wants to walk away
That's
for
right.
a while,
She
that's
can.
completely within her right to do so.
Well said. Good convo. Let us know what you think. All right, let me ask you this. This is important because I am shocked by this. How many of you at home, and I'm going to ask you too, have heard of the Tulsa race massacre or were even taught about it in school? Show of hands. 2. Anyone in the studio? I was not. No. Okay, I was not taught about this. Okay.
So you don't know what happened?
I learned it recently, and I'm embarrassed to say that. I'll be super honest. I was not taught, and I went to a very progressive school.
Okay.
All right, if you didn't know, yesterday marked the 100th anniversary of the massacre. So 100 years ago, a white mob killed an estimated 300 black Tulsa residents. More than 30 square blocks of homes and businesses were burned, looted, turned into rubble. It happened in the Greenwood district, which was known as, at the time, of course, as Black Wall Street. And as you just saw, a lot of us didn't learn about the Tulsa race massacre because it was not taught in school. It's super embarrassing to talk to you about this. Many people first learned about what happened from the HBO series Watchmen, which featured the events in one of its episodes. And last night, CBS aired a documentary about it, which featured a 107-year-old survivor, Viola Fletcher, who talked about what she lost. Take a look at this.
Good education and a nice home and a quiet neighborhood and family. All of that was taken. There's so many things, you know, that I'm still living without now.
107. Erica, what do you know about this? What do you feel about this? And is it shocking that I didn't know about this? Is it embarrassing?
It's not shocking that you didn't know about it. I only knew about it because I took an African American history class in college.
Wow.
So I was about 20 when we had this conversation, and it wasn't as expansive as the conversation that we're having right now. This was such a pivotal moment because for Tulsa, this was a PR issue. It was a PR nightmare. No one wanted people to know that a massacre, a race massacre, had occurred because it didn't look great for the city. Now, what's happened since in terms of commissions, they have raised over $30 million on the names and stories of these survivors. There are 3 survivors that are currently speaking out between the ages of 100 and 107. Viola's younger brother is 100 years old, who then went on to become a World War II veteran.
Wow.
So the idea that these survivors have not reaped any benefit from the amount of money and attention that has been brought to the Tulsa massacres is actually just salt in the in an open wound. And then you talk about the mass graves. This was about the dismantleization of Black generational wealth, and there is no way to make up for that. So if the commission does not review, they're talking about restitution, other ways that they can have social justice to rectify this, which can never be rectified. But it's much like what happened in Manhattan Beach that we were all learning about. In 1924, when a Black family was stripped of their property, which is now worth hundreds of millions of dollars, there's no way to get that back. Right. So we need to talk about restitution in a real form here.
And I just quickly want to say, history is always told by the winners, right? So I never learned this story because, and I'm ashamed of that because this was a story that was hidden, swept under the rug.
You shouldn't be ashamed quickly. I know we have to go now, but you shouldn't be ashamed because it wasn't until the 70s that this story actually came to light. They were repressing the story. They didn't want anybody to know about the story on purpose, right? Wow. So I know we got to run, but I could talk more about it.
I appreciate that, Jeff. We'll be right back. Thanks, guys.
Closed captioning provided by
There are 2 main reactions to those videos. One is, aw, cute. The other one is, ew, don't they know we're in a pandemic? But as more people are getting vaccinated, some couples are currently in a spot where one partner is vaccinated and the other one isn't. And that can make sharing a kiss a little awkward. A verified viewer who wants to remain anonymous wrote to us asking, can a fully vaccinated person give COVID-19 to an unvaccinated person through kissing? So, my anonymous kissing bandit, this one is for you. Let's verify. Our sources, the Mayo Clinic, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, Dr. Stuart Ray, professor at Johns Hopkins Medicine.
Yes, you can spread it, and yes, you can contract it, but the risk is a lot lower than it was before being vaccinated.
And Dr. David Sullivan, a professor of molecular biology and immunology at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health.
So theoretically, yes, but the chances are low.
A recent article from the Mayo Clinic confirms COVID-19 can be transmitted through kissing, stating coming into contact with a person's spit through kissing or other sexual activities could expose you to the virus. And both doctors and the CDC agree. Even if you're vaccinated, you can still contract COVID-19.
There is some residual risk of transmission, and as long as community rates are high, then I think we ought to exercise some caution.
So we can verify this as true. It is possible for a vaccinated person to spread COVID-19 to an unvaccinated person through kissing. But according to both doctors, it has more to do with your proximity to each other than the actual kissing. With your Verify, I'm Ariane Till. Want something verified? Email us or send us a text. For more Verify stories and to sign up for our newsletter, go to verifythis.com.
To DBL, are you an early riser or night owl that likes to sleep in? Is that I am? Okay. It turns out a huge new study says that waking up just 1 hour earlier could reduce your risk of depression by 23%. Jeff's nodding. I didn't know about this. According to experts, one possible reason is because more exposure to light during the day could help influence your mood. So do you think you could wake up an hour earlier, and what would you do with that extra time? Jeffrey, you were nodding. You know about this?
Well, no, I used to be like
I'm a night owl. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it definitely affected my mood, like when I woke up in the morning. But yes, you can change because we have time change. We have to go back or spring forward or back. So everybody does that at one point. You got to make this a regular thing, because if you could get it up an hour early, at least for me, I have kids, get an exercise in, feel good about your day, you have something accomplished before you even start your day, I think it's a big boost for your morality.
I hadn't even thought of this. What do you think?
I mean, I get up to work out. I do all my
You get up
workouts
and
in the
work out
morning. Yeah, because if it would never happen if I had to do it after work.
Excuses.
And also, I'm like, okay, well, now I have accountability. Like, I have to be, even when I ride the bike virtually with my mom, like, my mom is calling, like, are you on the bike? You know, so that gets me up, and it does help.
I got to be honest with you. I'm a night owl. I like to stay up and cross stitch, maybe watch some true crime. Who doesn't, right? But my issue is when I get up, I wake up with as much energy as New York City and anxiety. All my anxiety comes in the morning. And I've never once thought of working or doing a workout because I'm kind of a groggy whatever, but perhaps that'll take away. I feel like I could run a marathon with that much anxiety.
You should.
Every morning, every single morning.
Why don't you do that? I got to drink like a cup of coffee and
No, I don't.
force myself down there.
I actually take decaf. It's, yeah.
Get up and walk the neighborhood. I was doing that when my mom was in town, and I was like, I didn't even know these things existed.
All right, I'm going to do that. I'll take a walk around the neighborhood.
Yeah, get up or work on your hosting skills.
Cool, sounds good. Coming up on DBL, we're diving deep into the internet's spookiest urban myths that'll make your skin crawl in the Jeff Files.
Oh, speaking of hosting skills.
Yeah, it's real good, I bet. It's coming up next. Just a real winner right there.
Hey, Tori.
Texas Democrats took a bold step to make sure the House would not be able to pass a voting restrictions bill. They walked out before the vote could happen. Let's connect the dots. Every state has a minimum number of lawmakers that have to be there to vote to pass a bill. It's called a quorum. Here in Tar Heel State, only a majority of lawmakers have to be there. But since everything's bigger in Texas, their state constitution says there have to be 2/3 of their voting members present, or it's a no-go. Walkouts are a pretty rare occurrence. In fact, nationwide, there have only been 8 major walkouts in the past 100 years. But political experts say that as politics becomes increasingly partisan, this could become a more common occurrence. And that is connecting the dots.
Welcome back to DBL. The internet is filled with urban myths that have lived on for years. Some of them are almost too creepy to believe. I chat with internet sleuths Loie Lane and Eleanor Snitchery to dive deeper in today's Jeff Files. Loie Lane and Snitchery, thank you for coming on DBL. Now, you guys are known as the gruesome twosome and hosts of the podcast Internet Urban Legends, the latest Spotify original from Parcast. Now, let's dive into one of the biggest internet myths, the Watcher House.
When a New Jersey family moved into a new home, they began receiving disturbing letters.
The first time I read the letters, I got goosebumps. I've never seen anything like it outside of kind of a horror movie.
This family in New Jersey bought their dream home, then started getting creepy letters, and the letters mention weird things like blood and secrets in the basement. And this watcher claims he told the last family to move out.
One letter saying, all of the windows and doors allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house.
You guys looked into this. What's going on, and why is the internet so invested in this one?
There, we did an entire podcast episode, of course, on it, and it's still like, I don't think that anyone can fully understand what is going on with the Watcher House. But essentially, this family buys their dream house, starts doing renovations on it, and they start getting like these weird, threatening letters from someone, basically telling them that they're messing up the integrity of the home, and they've been watching the home for decades and decades. It's just like everyone's worst nightmare, I think. Like moving into a house and finding out that it comes with a built-in stalker.
Yeah.
I think it's a real estate hoax. Okay, I think it's a real estate hoax.
That's
I'm
good.
so convinced they are suing the previous owners. And this is my other theory. This is a little tinfoil hatty, but bear with me. This town, Westfield, is known for two things and two things only. There's the infamous murder that we talked about on the podcast in the 70s, and it's where the Addams Family creator was born. It's a spooky town. A little part of me thinks that this might be part of a collective tourist trap.
I'm with you. I think that's a good theory, but I just bought a new home, and if I had a letter about ghosts and blood in the basement, I would move out. So guys, let's talk about the Momo Challenge because it went viral years ago. We even talked about it on this show.
Online people are claiming this thing pops up in children's YouTube videos. It is a hoax.
It was nuts, and sadly, a young girl died over this. Police had to issue warnings on Facebook, and even Kim Kardashian posted pleading for YouTube to remove it. You talked about it on the Urban Legend podcast. Why were so many people convinced this was real?
I think because it came from kids. The kids thought it was real, right? Like, I think kids are easier to convince. So collectively, the adults maybe bought into it. It's also genuinely a scary image. And the virality of the internet kind of lends itself to something like that being taken seriously. And obviously, it was catalyzed by a real life tragedy. So it makes sense that people would be protective over children. That one's really scary though, and really bizarre.
I couldn't agree more. Let's talk about one more internet myth because I haven't heard about this one. It's called No One Dies at Disney, and you explore a theory that the big mouse doesn't want people to know. What is this all about?
They literally will like cart your body off park premises before allowing you to be declared dead because they can't ruin the sanctity and purity of Disney. That is so bizarre.
And the idea that we could all be at a theme park and there could just be someone who has in fact passed away for one reason or another, but like they won't be pronounced dead until they're at the hospital because Disney doesn't want the liability. It's really weird. And it makes you remember that even though it is the big mouse, he is the face of the corporation, it's still like a crazy corporation.
Yeah, is that real? So if someone has a heart attack, I don't even know if I could say now. You got me all worried about legalizing things. Disneyland, can I say Disneyland? If someone has a heart attack there, they won't pronounce them dead till they're off the grounds?
Yeah, they'll like fart them away, even if they're fully dead in the park. They will not admit to it.
You guys, I could talk to you guys all day about this stuff, but unfortunately, we're out of time. Loie and Snitchery, thank you guys so much for coming on DBL and DBL Nation. You can listen to their podcast, Internet Urban Legends, exclusively on Spotify. Thanks again, guys.
You can't die at Disney?
I didn't know that one.
I didn't either, but it makes it not the happiest place. It's kind of like the creepiest place. Like that's weird.
You can't pronounce.
You can't pronounce and declare them dead.
Now the dying is just the act of God.
Yeah, right. Even Walt Disney is
But you're not
God.
dead till you're through those happy gates.
Wow, that's so weird. What was one that? Was that the one that's freaked you out the most?
That was one I didn't know. I'm all into urban myths and legends, and those girls are great. They have a great podcast. I listen to it now. I listened to it on the way before that. So they tell a great story way better than me. But I'm so fascinated by all that.
I like those myths, and the Momo stuff really freaks me out. It reminds me of Slender Man.
Yeah.
Which scared me too. Very scary.
There's a little similarity, you and Momo.
We'll be right back.
No comeback?
Promotional consideration is brought.
Pop quiz. Category: food. What's starchy, salty, and tastes best fresh out of the fryer? Give yourself 10 points if you guessed French fries, hash browns, or tater tots. So why are we talking about deep fried potatoes? Well, a study from 2017 is making the rounds on the internet again. This time, it claims eating French fries can lead to an early death. Well, this year's claim is slightly different than previous years. This claim is focused on how many times French fries are consumed in a week. So let's verify. Will you die earlier if you eat French fries or hash browns 2 to 3 times a week? Our sources: Dr. Kantha Shelke, food scientist, founder of Corvus Blue LLC, and visiting professor of food safety regulations at Johns Hopkins University. Angela Lehman, registered dietitian, nutritionist, chief executive officer, and co-owner of Lehman Nutrition in Plano, Texas, and the national spokesperson for the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Dr. Kantha Shelke and Angela Lehman say there are several factors missing from the study.
Many of these people were they had other pre-existing conditions, arthritis, diabetes, etc. It did not look into their lifestyle, which is very important.
Maybe they're not exercising enough. They're eating, high-fat meats with that as well. They're drinking, a lot of sugar in their beverages. So what we need to see is the whole clinical picture of why these people are dying early. And so we can't really just say it's the French fries that's killing them.
1, 2, 3. Still alive. The claim that eating French fries and other fried potatoes 2 to 3 times a week will cause an early death is misleading.
Consuming French fries is not going to hurt you or kill you unless you did that in such a way that you excluded other good things with you. But if you like French fries in moderation, absolutely okay.
If you're worried about your fried potato intake, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention suggest healthier alternatives like baking, roasting, steaming, grilling, or broiling. Want something verified? Email your questions to questions@verifythis.com or send a text to 202-410-8808. To check out more stories like this and sign up for our newsletter, go to verifythis.com. Until then, I'm Ariane Till.
to DBL. It's time for Security Alert, sponsored by LifeLock. As air travel ramps up with more people being vaccinated, the Better Business Bureau is warning consumers of a rise in airfare scams. This is Jeff's favorite story ever. Scammers are reportedly targeting people by selling airline tickets through fake booking sites or customer service numbers. To avoid falling victim to these con artists, make sure to research the company before making a purchase. Also, always double check that URL, that web title, to make sure you're using a secure site. And lastly, use your credit card just in case you need to dispute the charges. When it comes to your financial assets, LifeLock is here to help. LifeLock keeps you and your digital identity secure from cyber criminals. Call 1-800-439-9017 or visit lifelock.com to learn more.
I can't stand people. Like, seriously, I cannot stand people. Like, just go out and make your own money. Don't be scared. And then these are people who are already searching for a deal, which means that money might be tight, and you're gonna scam them?
And they need a break. They need a vacay.
They'd be millionaires if they just, did it the right way.
Well said. We'll see you same time, same place tomorrow. I love you.
Thank you.